G'day folks, welcome back to GOSS to save Bastogne scenario, heading into turn 5, which is the effectively the turn 12, the full turn record track. It's just off camera, which is the 19th of December PM turn. And before I get to the map, here are my new charts. So I found these, where did I find these? There's so many charts online. Oh, wow, there's the charts that come in the box. The chart I've been using was dated 2014. These are dated 2016. I don't know if there's much difference in the ground assault table, but what I do like about this is we have fire mission charts and procedures. It's black and white, unfortunately. The actual file is colour. Summary of dice roll modifiers, proficiency rating summary. What else? It's another summary of the fire support mission dice roll modifiers, but a bit more condensed. I think it's probably much exactly the same. I don't know where my fire support chart is. It's around here somewhere, but I imagine very similar. Then there's, but what I like about this is charts and procedures on the right hand side as well. Then we have the ground assault charts and procedures. So we've got things like conditions that may affect combat strength. Then we have the column shifts to the right. We have the dice roll modifiers summarized here, including the maximum. And in looking at this, I noticed an error. I had been using armor anti-tank as +5. If a side has a printed armor factor or anti-tank value of 5 or greater, and the other side has armor in hex with no CT, each bonus with 15. So I've been encountering this as 5, so that's probably hurt the Germans a bit. Each point was only worth 5, and could have been quite, because they've had a lot of armor advantage in the first couple of turns. So this is all summarized on this one sheet, which I like. So ground assault procedures, all on one sheet. And then applying the results, all summarized on one sheet. Air mission, we don't have to worry about that. So I might throw that into the box for now. Movement chart summary. Okay, so this is good as well. It summarizes construction phase, movement phase, terrain, costs. The charts I've got are pretty good. This just kind of condenses it. There's another summary of the unit replacement table, which I probably won't need for now. Logistics charts, I don't think I'll need for now. But there's another thing that I like, the game turn summarized on one page. So previously I've been flicking back and forth through the rulebook, and here it is all in one page. That's really handy as well. Okay, so this is another CRT, but this one summarizes. This is also in color, printed in black and white. Summarizes the shifts, and another terrain effects chart, again in color, but I've printed it in black and white. So that's exciting. Some new charts. New charts are always exciting. So I want to show you that before we now get back to the map. And this is the situation. I could probably get closer if you'll bear with me. Sorry for the rocky camera. This is a situation at the start of that 19th of December PM turn. And we're heading into the Allied turn. So let me get my new sequence of play. Well, actually, we're using a condensed sequence of play, of course, which starts, I think, with the mode termination phase. And okay, so since the last video, I mentioned that armor points error that I've been making. I haven't been giving the allies enough points. I also kind of fixed up the road movement. So Claystone has done a series of videos over the past 24 hours. He did a video on movement, on combat, on standoff, and yeah, kind of explains some little details. So I've reread the movement section. It must have been maybe the 5th time I've read that section. And I've just slightly adjusted. So I've got got my motorized units coming into Bastogne. They couldn't end their movement here because this was overstacked with the artillery. So they then stopped along the roads and then I moved the artillery out to that space. One thing that I'm really kind of querying is the benefits of these foot units using trucks in this type of terrain, because it doesn't seem hugely beneficial. Secondary road, they cost, so basically a leg unit spends 1 movement point to move along a road. If they're on trucks, they spend 1 movement point to move along roads. So the cost to move along this secondary road here are exactly the same as if they wouldn't have trucks, right? So foot unit without trucks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With trucks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they're getting exactly the same movement point. Trucks are in fact a disadvantage because they'll have to disembark from the trucks. And this is one of the issues that I had last turn. I had accidentally disembarked without paying the cost. These units, if I understand the rules correctly, have to pay half their movement allowance to dismount. So it'd be better if they actually came on without trucks. I find it really interesting that these battalions can move as fast on foot without any kind of form of mechanisation as they can with these trucks. And in fact, the trucks, the trucks slow them down, they have to dismount. There's all these mech road movement limitations. I'm just trying to think of what the advantage is. Yes, on a red road, so on these highways, these primary roads, it's a lot faster, but everything else is really slow. So, yeah, scratching my head about the cost of of those trucks. It seems kind of pointless. Why would I bother using trucks when they can just walk and get there the exact same speed, if not faster? All right, so we have mode determination phase, and the Americans are not looking to change their mode. CCR 9th Armoured has done superbly well. I'm really happy with how they've kind of fulfilled their task. Their job was to slow down the Germans and sacrifice themselves if needed. And they've slowed down the Germans, and they have suffered pretty minimal casualties. One battalion, hybrid battalion, broke down. Another, I think, was eliminated, but at great cost to the Germans. They are really soaking off a lot of those German steps as they come. You can see just the number of reduced German units, reduced under there. Panzer Lair is also heavily reduced as well. So, yeah, CCR, which, historically, as I said before, was almost wiped out, has done superbly, and they lived to fight again on this afternoon. So, no prepared assaults. I don't think we want to. You know what? We probably could. I'm not looking at the counters. I'm just cleaning them up. We probably could get an attack on this stack here. Maybe not. Why risk it? Yeah. So no prepared assault modes. We are sticking with TAC mode throughout and sort of defensive posture. All right, we move to the construction phase, and this is where I am going to begin construction of a level 1 here. All right, that'll be a quick construction. I don't have engineers in this hex. I am going to begin construction of a level 1 here, and I have engineers here, and they'll be moving to somewhere better. Okay, so this is a quick construction. So I believe at the end of the at the end of the movement phase, that'll be complete. Okay, so they are locked in. I do have an extra step of engineers, those mechanized engineer step, which can move around a bit. What I'm worried about is, as I said, these guys have to dismount. They're only just going to be able to reach here, 3 points. Actually, maybe they can get along the road 1. They're on the highway now, so it might be a bit easier for them to get up. I was worried they may not be able to reach. This is Foy just under here, and I was hoping to be able to kind of create a defensive line along here. And I was worried they couldn't do that, but I think they'll be able to make it with that primary road half MP cost. So that's the construction phase done. Now we get to the American movement phase, and let's test this out. We're going to do mech movement first. And I feel like I've got a pretty solid line here now. I've got, yep, hybrid. This is probably a bit of a weak point. Oh no, hybrid. Maybe this is my weak point. So I might bring, you can see I had some steps there. I'm going to do what Clay did. Clay puts his markers on the bottom, so it's easier to sort through. All right, it's a reconnaissance unit. There we go, M18. I'm going to move them up to help with the 506, which should be in the lead here, right? There we go, 506, 101st Airborne. So they're going to move up, and they're going to go 1, 1.5, and now they're going to drop their trucks. Right, so let's work this out. And I did read the rules and I've forgotten it completely. So they must have at least half their movement points remaining, which they do. They've got 4.5 out of 6. And the remaining movement allowance is, I think, 3 minus, is it 3 minus what they've spent? So I'll just need to quickly check this out. Disembarking, mech road movement, dismount procedure. Determine the number of MP remaining. Subtract the number of MP expended from 3. So it's 3 minus 1.5. That means they've got 1.5 movement points left. Can they get into that wooded terrain? Sorry, it is woods. It costs 1.5. So yes, they can. Unfortunately, I feel like they might be the only ones who can actually get in there. I'm then going to move that M18. They're going to go weaving through off-road. They're going to come over here and join them basically to bolster their defense a little and give them some AT. I may even move the reconnaissance vehicle out here as well, just to bolster them even further. It gives them a decent defense of 10. And then I'll bring these guys back to there. Okay. That's a pretty solid line. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Going to move the engineers just up 1 hex to there. That creates a very solid position there, and they'll start entrenching here. And I'll move these engineers 1 step across to there. All right, so it would be great if I can strengthen this position. And I think these guys can make it. So 1, 2, I can easily make it 2. They dismount, they have 1 movement point remaining, and they jump in there. So looking good, I think, for the Americans. 101st Airborne has taken up their position in Foy and the outskirts. It's really interesting. This is the scenario novel in Race for Bastogne, which is a really cool little scenario. Race for Bastogne is GTS, and it kind of has this little box here as the full playing area. All right, let's bring up the rest of these guys. They won't be able to, they may be able to dismount. 1, 2, 3. And then dismount with no movement. Can they stack there though? Let's check this. No, I already have 2 battalions. But they'll go there. So 1, 2. They have 1 movement point left, and they can't go any further. These guys go 1, 2, 3 and dismount. And 1, 2, 3 and they'll dismount as well just to get rid of the headache of the trucks. Then we'll send some of this. This is a 506 around here. 502nd will shift to their left flank just in case the Germans swing all the way around. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ugh, actually, don't get stuck. 1, 2, 3. Dismount as well. Just because I don't want to get stuck. These Germans can be very mobile. I'm a bit worried now that they can swing. No, they wouldn't be able to swing too far around. That's okay. All right, let's follow up with this traffic jam that we've got going on. Who's on next? Let's get our M18s on. Geez, should have done that earlier. All right, the traffic jam continues. These will probably be coming in for the rest of the scenario. I don't know how they're all going to make it in time. When does this scenario end? It ends on the 20th of December night game turn. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 turns left. Okay. That's our 101st Airborne movement done. We've done CCR. I think we're all done pretty much. So at the end of the movement phase, this is completed. That will take a full game turn because it's just a one-step engineer. They moved. Okay. That's the American movement phase complete. Combat phase. And it is tempting, but no combat. Artillery, fire support missions. Because I've already lost. Two of my formations are already depleted. There we go, ammo depleted. I just don't want to risk any more if I don't need to. So nothing's going to happen. Yeah, we'll just hold. Okay, let's shift now to the German phase. And mode determination, there's going to be a lot more going on the German side. They are most certainly preparing to assault. So prepared assault. And I'm placing these markers without even thinking yet about where they're going to assault. I just know they want to jump forward. These guys can move 2 spaces in their prepared assault. We'll have some engineers here. They can, actually there's only a level that's not even built yet. So maybe this is the weak point in the line. So prepared assault. And we have 2 stacks down here. Prepared assault. It's everything. Everyone else is in attack mode. The Germans still don't have a combat reserve capacity yet. All right, so that's the mode determination phase. The Germans have no construction interests, so they'll shoot straight to their movement phase. And big question for Kampfgruppe Halt up here. Do they try and come all the way around? They can come down here, this Longchamps road. Actually, let me just double check the scenario rules. At one point, the Germans do need to make a die roll. When is that? At the beginning of the German play turn on the 20th of December AM turn, so we're fine for now. They may run out of petrol. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking about the German objectives. They have to be adjacent to Bastogne to win this scenario, so 3 hexes to make it. Do they try and add to this attack going on? Or, so they can kind of come in through here and try and put a lot more pressure on here, a lot more strength, or come around and force the 101st Airborne to stretch out their lines and hope for successes somewhere. I think if I just come in here, the 101st will just stack up here. I think it may be better to try and stretch out their defences and try to Yeah, try and come in from the northwest maybe. So let's try that. Let's go. 1.5, 3. Oh geez, they're not getting far. 6. At this rate. So 6. Is this a bicycle battalion? I think this is a bicycle battalion. Just double checking the movement cost of that. It is a trail. Yeah, 1.5 in non-clear terrain. So these guys can go a bit further. 9, 10, 11, 12. They've captured Bastogne. And got the motorized infantry. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 and a half. They've got to stop there. Artillery coming up. Actually, mode determination phase. Was there any artillery I wanted to flip? I don't think so. These guys are out of range. And they'll come down a bit closer, so no worries there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, these guys want to flip as well. They're in range, so they're fine. Okay, we're 6, 9, 12, 3. No, I don't think I did that right. 3, 6, 9, 12. And they'll follow the same route. Just a reminder, you cannot move into or adjacent to Hoffeles. This may have been, there may be a quicker route to jump straight up there and get in there and then come down, but it's not allowed by the scenario rules. Okay, horse drawn with 26, which is this area here. So we'll keep this in the center. They'll just go 1, 2, 3. Switch to the primary road. 4, and I'll stop there. Their range is 5. That puts them in a good position. Did I flick that by accident? I'll check that in a moment. In fact, I'll check it now. I think I've got a photo of... I'm just checking if I accidentally bumped that unit and made it flip over. Yeah, I did. It was reduced. Well, I think it was reduced. No. That's too hard to tell from the photo. Yes, they were reduced. Cheating. Okay, these guys, straight down the road. They are treated as foot on a primary road, which is 1 movement point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can stack together. Okay, now we do our other tactical movement. So we'll bring these guys just in a bit closer. They won't attack this turn. They're just, actually, they can be the combat reserve. I think I can designate these guys as a combat reserve, maybe. I'll check that when I get to it. They can be, I think, well, I'll need to check the rules, but yeah, adjacent to combat taking place. We'll figure that out soon. Losing track, okay, 26. They will come down. We've got the forest, which will cost us 2. So we can go 2, stop there, move there, and they can follow. All right, these guys will come around 1, and I'll shift down there, and these guys will stack with them as well. And again, I'm thinking maybe they can be they can be a combat reserve. All right, prepared assault. They are. Do I have engineers with me down here? No. Do these guys have engineers? Yes, we do. So the engineers will help reduce this entrenchment here if I take this position, which I might look to do. So I bring these guys in one. Oops, leave the artillery behind, of course. But certainly bring up the engineers. Like so. And we get one of these formations to swing around into this position. And I've run out of red prepared assault markers, I think. Oh no, here we go, one more. So they'll be jumping in there. Okay. Down here, these guys. Gosh, and we have 1 4. Alright, well let's, I'd like to strike here while I can, before these defences get set. It means moving into this clear terrain. These guys will come in. Von Baum, Kosh, a bit of a mix here. Let's try and hit right in this point here. So I'll go 1, 2, like so. Okay, so basically the attacks are going to look something like this. There we go. And that's all the German reinforcements. Maybe I should have checked the reinforcement schedule. 19th, what are we up to? Sorry, the 19th PM turn. Yep, we've got some German reinforcements arriving. Let me check that out. Quite a few again. So no, oh yeah, we do have the 705 101st Airborne. Okay, so that's, they're already on the map because I removed the headquarters. They're already 705 tank destroyer. I think that is those guys who just arrived. So they probably should be at the back of the line. So I'll bring on the glider forces first. For the Germans though, they have a lot. They've got 26 infantry battalion, all of their remaining forces coming up. I just need to find the 26th. Okay, found the division. So the 1st 78th, found them with a step loss, and the 2nd 78th at full strength. They're coming in 29-17. So 29-17, they're going to arrive here on this turn right now, basically. Then we have got the 2nd Panzer Division. Have them. We have got Kampfgruppe Gut, and we have got the 2nd Panzer HQ 1/2 motorized infantry with a step loss. 2nd Panzer 5 company, Jagdpanzer 4 company, and 3rd 38 engineers with 274 good Panzer artillery. Well, I don't know where they are. And I cannot see them in the counter mix, so they may, that may be 274 good. Nobody is, I don't have any good left. So I think they're already either already on the map and I've made a mistake, or it could be an errata, or their counter has gone flying into someone else's divisional area. nonetheless, these guys arrive in 3609 or 3611. So, straight on the highway, like so. Alright, so we'll get this 26 formation to go. Link up with the 26 up here, so 3, 6 up there, and I'll join them. And we'll get the second panzer to swing around the north as far as they can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. That 9. They can get right in there. I think I can stack most of these forces. Keep the engineers there. All right. So now we've cleared the roads. You can see how fast the Germans can move up when they have those clear roads. Straight to Noville, pretty much. Okay. That's German movement done. No, wait, these guys, the artillery. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll keep them there. All right, now on to combat, and going to be some interesting combat happening. First of all, we start with the American defensive fire, and basically they've got. I'll put this on top for now, just so you can see what's happening. They've got these 3 batteries. These are depleted for the rest of the scenario, pretty much, because there's no replenishment. So a strength of 8, and I'm worried. I'm less worried about this one because we do have those entrenchments. What's going to be the key point here? Who's defending where? Oh, they're just in rough terrain, so I might throw my artillery into this hex. So we're going to say, okay, all 8 barrage points firing into here in one mission. Okay, we've got a strength of 8. Let's go through. The fire mission. So, what type of units are we looking at here? We have got engineers, mixed. Okay, so it's mixed AFE. Oh, sorry, terrain. In clear. Okay, mixed AV in clear. So no dice roll modifiers. Oh, they're in prepared assaults anyway, so they can't benefit from that. So they get -2 for the mixed. How many steps are they? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. No modifiers. So -2 for mixed. I thought there was something about being a clear hex is not good. Observing unit on a vantage point. So can either of these observe? Yes, they are on a vantage point. So the -2 with a +1 goes up to -1. That's it. +1. +1 modifier. Sorry, -1 modifier. -1 modifier +8 is a net +7 to my die roll. And the die roll is a 0, which is the result of 7, which is no effect. Anything but that would have caused an effect. Well, now the Germans have more artillery prepared, and they need to think about what they want to strike at. And again, I think they're thinking the same things as the Americans, that this could be a good place to push through. So they're going to bring 3, 6. They've got quite a few batteries ready, I think. 3, 6. Not quite a few, just 3. We'll bring 6 to this. So this this 6 here, attacking this American point here. So it is 6. They're defending in rough terrain. 6 minus 1 is 5. The formation is mixed, so it's minus 2. Brings it down to 3. Stacking is 3, so no modifier. And is there an observer on a vantage point? No. And get my tweezers in here. No. So 3 plus a die roll. 0 is no effect. Okay, so that artillery is gone as well. Oh, okay, ammunition depletion. The Americans have to roll. They're fine. The Germans have to roll. They are fine. Okay. We've got a small battery of 3 hitting the Americans here. 3, this is going to be tough. In rough wooded, which is minus 2. So 3 minus 2 is 1. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That counts as mixed. I think the circle, the armoured means they have AFVs there, so that's a minus 2. So, geez, I keep forgetting everything. So 3 minus 2, density is 6, which is another plus 1. So 3 minus 2 is 4. Minus 2 is 2. Plus 1 goes back up to 3. Plus a die roll. 3 plus a 0 is 0. And ammunition depletion, they are depleted. So a depletion marker for that piece, which is frustrating for the Germans. So completely ineffectual artillery. Let's move to combat. And all right, we'll start up the top and work our way down. We have got, okay, so let's double check the rules for combat reserve and how I actually, because I did this in the first scenario, in the fight for Kessimik, but that was nearly 2 years ago. So I'm a bit rusty in the requirements for setting a combat reserve. When do I set combat reserves? Do I do it during the movement phase? Or the start of the combat phase? Ground assault. Just checking combat files. Tactical assault designation, replacement, fire support segment, remove attack designation, voluntary remove, ground assault. I don't know. Oh, it happens at the start of the movement phase. 5.8.0. Okay, so maybe too late. You can't move and then suddenly jump into combat reserve. That was a bit optimistic of me, I think. So 5.8, combat reserve. During a friendly movement phase, the active player can mark attack mode movements with CM markers. They may not be adjacent to an enemy. The unit must have 2 steps remaining. The unit moves if they can't move during the movement phase. So they're well set up for next turn, but for this turn, no combat reserve, no worries. That's hard to keep track of because you need to know, at this point, you've done all this movement, and then you get to this point, you're like, who has moved? Who hasn't moved? And to be honest, I could not keep track of all that kind of stuff. So you need to kind of, that's why you do it at the start of the movement phase, I guess. Not now. Okay, ground assault. Let's work this out. We are attacking with this hybrid formation here and this stack You can see how this gets so fiddly here. And we have got, damn it, we have got 11 and 12 for a total of 23 with some good armour on the defence of 11. So just over 2 to 1. So 2 to 1 odds. And the terrain is rough wooded. So 2 to 1 in rough wooded, which is line 3. 2 to 1, line 3. That's not a good start for the Germans. Hopefully it gets better because they have got, let's work our way down, column shifts marked as prepared assault, so they get a column shift to the right. Are they in a vantage point? Oh, it's the defender in a vantage point. That's, who's in a vantage point? The defender is not in a vantage point. I don't think that's interesting. Is the defender, oh sorry, we'll go through attacker first. No units are green. They're not overstacked. None of that really matters. Defender is in an IP, which is 1 to the left. Do I have engineers in this? No, I don't have engineers in this. Okay. No other column shifts. We look at dice roll modifiers. No combat reserve, regimental integrity bonus. So we have Kosh, and there's 2 Kosh units attacking together. I think adjacent units count for the regimental integrity bonus. Okay, the attack for each other participating unit. It must be in PA mode. It doesn't quite say participating. So there's 2 participating. So I'm guessing that's 2 units that count for a +5 each for +10. The proficiency rating difference. Okay, so the Germans have got a 9. The best the Americans can muster is a 9. Look at that. 101st Airborne. That evens things out a bit. So that's tied. Armour and anti-tank. So the Germans are bringing a 6. The best the Americans can muster is a 1, a 0, a 1. That's not good. They have no anti-tank, no strong anti-tank here. So it's 6 minus 1 is 5. The terrain is rough wooded, which the woods provide a -2 to a maximum of 2. Okay, so I think the maximum of 2. Maximum of 2 armour factors can contribute, which is +20. So we had 10 earlier from the Regimental Integrity, now it's +20 is +30 on this G column. So greens are 10s. 90 to the attacker, +30 is 120. That is a huge result. Where are we? I struggle to read this chart. Okay, I think it's 2 mandatory, 2 discretionary. So we must take it from the 101st Airborne first, 1, and then we'll take this 2, and then 2 discretionary. Geez, I can wipe out that unit. Yeah, I think we'll take losses. So we're going to take 2 more losses from each. And I need to find my markers. Here we go. So they are pretty weak in this position. 1 step from the 101st, 506, and 1 step from the engineers who are there as well. Just to try to, I think they have to actually try to, they need to make a test first. There are 2, they want to convert discretionary hits to hits. Okay, these summary charts aren't great. Reduction, does it convert? Yeah, let me get back to the rules. Okay, discretionary hits. They can never attempt to hold their position. Okay, I'm going to declare that all my units will hold their position. I must conduct a PRC using the participating unit the lowest, which is 6 or less. I pass. Now I can resolve the discretionary hits in any combination of step, losses, and fatigue hits as desired. Step losses or fatigue hits. Okay, so again, it's been a while since I've dealt with fatigue. This is the lead PR unit, blah, blah, blah. When does fatigue sit in? I don't know. Fatigue represents blah, 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 section 14. When, how can I take fatigue? So, okay. When a unit suffers fatigue, okay, how do I suffer fatigue? Units can become fatigued as a result of combat. There are 2 levels of fatigue. I can't remember. How I place these markers, why I place these markers. Hold a position. It says all remaining discretionary hits in any combination of step, losses, and fatigue hits, maximum of 2 as desired. So I think I can, instead of taking 2 step losses from these units, I can take 2 fatigue hits to these units. That's one thing I will certainly need to check. So fatigued and fatigued, movement allowance half, combat strength is halved. I'll double check that. Not sure if I've done that correctly. Okay, and the Germans cannot advance into the hex, so they are done with that northern attack. So good. Oh wait, the Americans get to a counterattack. Plus 30 on the bottom side. We look at 82. That's a bad roll. Plus 30 is 112, which is no effect. Okay, too high. Next combat, around here. So the Germans did some damage, but didn't break through, but yeah, really hurt that lead element of the 506. They have got, they're defending, let's work this out first. The defenses are not complete yet. Defending in rough on a vantage point, so that will help. Defense of 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 on 9, which is just 2 to 1. In, what I say, it was rough or rough wooded? Rough, which is line 2. So 2 to 1, line 2. Okay, let's look at, sorry, microphone getting a bit tangled. Let's look at our column shifts. The attacker is in PA mode, so 1 to the right. They are not attacking defensive works. The defender is in a vantage point hex, so 1 to the left. They are not in an improved position. That's all. All right. Dice roll modifiers. No combat reserve. Regimental Integrity bonus. So nothing that applies here. Oh, wait, defending. So for the defender, I think any adjacent units of CCB. Have I not stacked there? Any? Yes, I have. I do have 1 adjacent. So for the Americans, those adjacent units help them, I think. The adjacent units reward the defender 1 for each eligible unit in the defending hex and or in any hex adjacent to the defending hex. So that's 2 units present there. So it's a +5/+5, I think is how it works. Then we have on 4, they have got, wow, 3 units there. And House has 2 units there, so that's 25. So it's +15 to the Germans. +15, 2 to 1, armour. So the Americans have got a +4. The Germans have got a 4. So it's tied. So no armor bonus. Proficiency. The Germans are bringing a 7. That's the best they can do. The Americans have a 7, so it's tied there as well. So just a +15 bonus. Germans attack first. Greens are 10s. 57 + 15 is 72. Which is an asterisk. 1 mandatory hit. So proficiency rating check for the Americans. They pass. And where was that? Don't know. 1 mandatory hit in this hex, and it has to come from the unit that made the proficiency check. Okay. Mandatory, is that right? I keep forgetting. When you take a mandatory hit, yep, must be taking a step loss. Okay. The Americans counter. Where's the dice gone? +15. That's a low roll. That's a 20 overall, which is a 2 mandatory, 2 discretionary, 1 mandatory. 2 discretionary, 1 mandatory. So 1 has to be on the lead unit, which is that. 2 discretionary. I think they'll retreat. And they have to follow, or they'll, yeah, I'll come back to here. I'll follow the road, so back to here, I guess. Okay. Last combat. Oh, they have to retreat as well. So 1, 2. And we do have engineers here, which will cancel out 1 level. of this defensive bonus. We've got 10, 28, 28 on 7, which is 3 to 1, 14, 4 to 1, 4 to 1, and they're defending in rough or village, which is the same. So 4 to 1, line 2. Advantageous to the Germans for now. The Germans in prepared assault, so 1 to the right. There are, so it's an ET3, so 3 to the left, 1 to the right for the engineers. The engineers cancel that 1 step. Yeah, 1 step of engineers. Yep. Dice roll modifiers. The Germans, so let's go, sorry, proficiency rating 7 on 7, that's tied. Armour, we've got 5 on 4, so the Germans get +1, but it's going to be -1 for the rough, so no armour. Regimental Integrity, we have von Porsche, 3 units for 15, and 10 for the Americans, so +5 for the Germans. That's all we're looking at. So +5 for the attacker is a 95, which gives them 2 mandatory, 2 discretionary. Okay, that's going to wipe them out. So they can flip, they can take a fatigue. I think. No, maybe they can't. Maybe it's only discretionary hits that can be converted to fatigue. Yeah, it is. So that's 2 step losses, they're gone. But before they do, they counterattack. 53 is going to cause 1 discretionary hit. I think the Germans will take that as a hit on that unit, and then they can advance. So surprising progress. Now, did this entrenchment I don't think it had any effect. 2 discretionary hits, 2 mandatory hits. The trenches aren't going to save that as far as I'm aware, but I definitely need to read up on that again as well. So I'll stop it here. It's the end of the German turn. I will stop and check all that stuff and return with the night on the 19th of December. I need to figure out what happens to that level 3 entrenchment as well, if it's converted or if it stays there. So yeah, we'll wrap it up here, check a few things and come back